unless you have any intro ideas. Anybody?
No.
All right.
I'll start if you don't mind.
All right, go for it.
So Noah, Ryan, what's going on? This is the start of the podcast. Some pretty big news. Life update from the old Kev Dog. Cut my hair. Flow is gone. Listeners, I know you're all disappointed in me. You're just gonna have to accept me for who I am right now. I'm a delicate stage with just short hair, but it is gone. Ryan, I've noticed a couple things. You got your haircut as well. You thought you were gonna be the shine fresh boy for the podcast. Yeah, think again. But I think we both can notice a couple things. One, takes like 2 seconds now to dry off after showers. Like what?
It's beautiful.
2, I'm like much worse at lacrosse. And 3, time to start this podcast because, you know, some stuff's going on in summertime sports. So let's get it.
All right, hype.
I cannot believe you cut your hair.
Yeah, I jumped on this call and I was like, what? Like, who is this man?
I was like, is that Maddie? I was like, that's not Kevin.
It might. Oh wait, I thought
It
it was Maddie for a second. Yeah, you said that. I was like, that might be. Okay, so yeah, Ryan started. Here, I'm gonna start over. So about 15 or so minutes before this podcast began, in our group chat with us three, Ryan shoots us a text, just got a fire haircut or something like that, and we'll be ready in 10 minutes to do this podcast. Acting like that's going to be the story of the day for us. Ryan trimming his hair a little bit shorter. FaceTime Ryan yesterday, said, he told me he's getting a haircut. I said, yeah, your hair's looking a little long. Little did either of us know that the man who had 3 times the hair combined of either Ryan or I, the third member of this podcast, Kevin's going to lop it off. And I don't really know, it's almost like a straight-haired version of mine right now where it actually looks very similar to Ryan's, I would say, where it's not super, it's not like a buzz cut, but it's completely gone from the full flow stage.
It's almost too short, don't you think?
I like it. I think it looks good.
It looks really good, Kevin. It's just takes so. I think you did this one other time, and it was pretty mind blowing. Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, it's what I do. I blow people's minds. My hair.
Keep us on our toes is Kevin. So all right, listeners. Obviously, you can't see us, but we can see each other. So if Ryan and I ever get flustered during this podcast, it's because we are just still not fully able to grasp what is happening on this screen 3 and all the hair that is gone. But we'll start out with in the sports world with, I think whenever there's topics or whenever there's anything going on in the NBA, we almost have to start with that unless it's the World Series or Super Bowl. So there have been things going on, gentlemen, in the NBA. And something I've noticed before we get into specifics, I think Ryan's touched on this before. We have podcasts at always the worst times. The craziest things will happen right after we do our podcast. There was not a lot going on last week. For most of the weekend, we were thinking about what to do with the podcast. It was a lot of speculating. And then all of a sudden, the morning we post the podcast, Manny Machado is officially traded to the Dodgers, and then freaking Kawhi is traded to the Raptors. I mean, 1, do we have to change when we do our podcast? 2, is there anything about to come out tonight? Because it's been decently quiet other than the Kevin Love extension. So where do we stand right now with podcasts coming out, Ryan?
I think we have to keep it the same day to make sure that there's news in sports. If we did it another day, would there even be breaking news? I feel people wait till we do our podcast and they're let's have some crazy stuff. So we it's not the best for us, but for the good of the sports world, we must continue.
People are really relying on us. Sounds like. Okay. But anything going to happen tonight that's crazy? Because, I mean, I feel for the last few shows, it's been little bit's going on here and there, but like nothing major. And then all of a sudden, boom, some crazy trade happens. So, Kevin, is it an NBA story? Does someone get traded? I don't really know what else there's left to do. Does somebody get hurt in baseball, Kevin? One of the four people you know, or like, is there going to be any storyline tomorrow?
Maybe Bryce Harper gets traded to the Phillies. Ryan predicted it. Could happen.
Wow.
We shall see.
Interesting. We are going to talk a little bit of baseball later, including Bryce Harper. But all right, the stuff that has happened in the past week, as you mentioned, the Kawhi trade to the Raptors happened like just after we did our podcast, the next morning as we posted it. So yeah, maybe a little bit late on our reactions here, but I think it's time that we give this a go talking about it. So I saw in the picture that was posted of him and I think two members of the front office, he had a little smile on. And then someone did this like really creepy face scan that's like, this person is 34% happy, 35% like unsure about life, and like 0.0007% like annoyed or something crazy like that. And people in Toronto were like, heck yeah. One, that is the craziest thing I've ever seen. Ryan, it sounds like you've seen it. Two, how do we think Kawhi's actually feeling?
Yeah, when I saw that, the caption was like, bro, Raptors Twitter is the most insane place on planet Earth, because the fact that someone like went in there and ran that scan is crazy. I honestly think Kawhi like isn't actually Kawhi. Like I think he's being like held. I think he has a twin clone that's just up there in Toronto, and we don't even know where the real Kawhi is. Like he's just completely like skipped. He's out of the United States. Well, Canada is out of the United States. He's out of North America, just like completely gone. We got like a fake Kawhi up there that's just like, obviously they have the same emotions because he's already a robot. So I don't think that's the real Kawhi.
Wow. You always have these crazy takes, and I'm like, I always have the same emotions. At first I'm like, you're such an idiot. And then after that, I'm like, you know what? I could absolutely buy this. And I think that's just like me being gullible with anything. But there might be I think you might be honest on there, Ryan.
Yeah, thank you.
Kevin, you have thoughts on that?
Well, I don't think he has a twin. That would disparage my image as a twin, because go Twins, especially in Minnesota. But that's going a little off topic. Kawhi, I think, definitely won't stay in Toronto. Kind of like moving the subject along here, but I think he is definitely a rental. But he's in LA next year, right? Like, is that the consensus with all three of us? Do you think he pulls a Paul George? Any one of you?
I think it's a much higher chance than you are saying. I don't think it's a given that he's going to go to LA. A lot of things can change in a year. So who knows what the Lakers are going to look like? Maybe they're like a 6 seed and he does not find that. Yeah, I mean, I guess he could be the Clippers. He goes to LA. I would definitely put them as his favorites, maybe like 50, 60%. But I think it's a good chance he stays in Toronto, actually. I give him like a chance that he stays.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I'm a big fan of what they have going on up there in old Canada. And they got a good system in place. Okay, and honestly, this is like who can I relate? Oh, yeah, this is like the Capitals in NHL. I feel like the Capitals, once they got past the Penguins, were like, oh, like hockey's actually easy, and like we could win this thing. It was such a mental block. I feel like now that at least they're gonna just be like, oh, like this is basketball. Like we don't have to face LeBron. We can actually be good now, and especially with like Kawhi. And I mean, we will get into how good we're going to be, but I'm kind of digging the Raptors right now. Just saying.
I mean, we can get into. Let's get into it now. I don't think they're going to.
All right, fine.
Like Danny Green sucks. Kyle Lowry's kind of getting old.
Danny Green does not suck, and I'm probably too much of a Kyle Lowry fan. I love Kyle Lowry.
No, he's pretty swaggy. I'll give you that.
I would say, yeah. I mean, I think, in my opinion, a top 5 point guard in the East. I think Danny Green is a solid starter. Kawhi is maybe if he's healthy, the best player in the East. And then a good system in place with some backups, some reserves. I like what they have going on. I think they can compete with anybody in the East. I'll say that right now.
Wow. Anybody, because the East isn't that good, but
yeah,
Boston.
I don't know, dude. I just feel like getting Kawhi was like smart, but like it's almost like the organization is like maybe it's finally Noah, you love this. Maybe it's finally time to blow it up after this year because like if Kawhi leaves, so like I don't know how much trust the players have in the organization. I've never been a big Kyle Lowry fan. I think that's it. So I don't really like the Raptors at all this year.
The Wizards should definitely blow it up, in my opinion. If you saw the whole Ernie Grunfeld quote that this is the best Wizards team he's seen in years, it's probably because they've all been terrible in years. But
yeah.
I mean, healthy John Wall coming back, Bradley Beal's gonna be baller still. Dwight Howard still my boy, but kind of sucks. And
did you see that Dwight Howard was like, yeah, I'm definitely going to finish my career in Washington. And then they went back and showed that like he's literally said that with the other 15 teams he's played for.
Yeah. What did you like more, that or the one where he said, I learned or I went to La La Land, worked with Rockets, got stung by a hornet, and then taught me how to be a wizard.
That was clever. I'll give Dwight Howard credit because like that was probably like the best thing he's ever said. But
I like the thing he's ever said.
I like it.
I liked him being like confident enough to say that only the team that I'm gonna ride out my career with, which means either he's just gonna get cut and no one else wants him, or he's just a liar.
All right, well, I'm going to interrupt your conversation really quickly for one reason, and that's I'm about to spruce things up with a game show, and I think Kevin God. For some reason, I was holding a nail clipper during this podcast, and I accidentally like squeezed it, and it just like ripped my finger. There's some blood. But I will trek on and be tough for the listener with blood. By the way, for those of you loyal listeners out there, still have my splinter in my foot. Not really sure what to do about that. Yeah, it's still I don't really know what to do there. All right, game show, because what Kevin was just talking about was one of the game show questions. I'm just going to lead off with that. This, in my opinion, is the weakest question of a very strong class of game show questions. Once again, have to admit. I'm hoping whoever wins this, gentleman, can win again next week because or at least give me a challenge because I'm frankly tired of winning without a challenge next week or week after week. So I want one of you to win with confidence, show me something, and then put up a fight against me next week. So, with that being said, our first. Okay, true. Whatever. I don't really think this through. Just one of you put up a challenge eventually. The first question. This might be, I think you might both know this. You might have to be quick. What team is this? Like, what number team in the career of Dwight Howard? Like, what team is this? How many teams has he played for? That was close. I'm going to give it to Ryan. I think he was a little bit earlier.
I'm not sure if I'm right, but is this 7?
Damn it.
6.
Kevin, can you name them? This is not part of the question, but I just want to see if you can name them.
So,
in order.
Magic,
yeah.
Lakers, Rockets, Hornets, and Hawks. And now the Wizards.
Wow.
That was pretty impressive.
Hawks.
Yeah, I'm a big Dwight Howard fan.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have gotten Hawks. I completely forgot he was there.
Yeah, I did. I did too before this question. That was good. All right, Kevin, you're up 1-0. The rest of the questions, I would say top notch. So this is where it gets interesting. I asked this one to a friend of the podcast. I don't know if he's ever been. He's a fan, Austin Kleber, and he got this one pretty quickly. I was surprised. In 2010, in the NFL, who was the rushing leader, yardage-wise? Yep.
Maurice Jones-Drew.
No, it is not my NFL comp.
That's funny, Kev. That's funny because that's really the first name that came to mind for me as well. But I will go. I don't think this is right, but Chris Johnson.
No, it is not. Kevin, do you have a guess or do you guys want a hint?
I would like a hint, unless Ryan wants me to guess.
No, hint.
Okay, I will give out a hint, but you guys can either of you can answer. So
okay,
this guy,
we buzzing again?
I think he was What?
Are we buzzing again or
Yeah, buzz.
just
Yeah,
screaming the answer?
buzzing.
Okay.
So I'm pretty sure he was undrafted, or he was drafted super late and burst onto the scene. Went to an SEC school. Yeah.
Peyton Hillis?
No. Wasn't
Damn it.
a fantasy darling. He scored like 40 points week 1 this one year against the Colts, and then everyone picked him up.
Oh, damn
He
it. No, wait, I don't think I know.
He plays for one of the 4 teams that's never been in a Super Bowl, or he played for one of the 4 teams. Now he's on Twitter a ton. You guys are killing me right now. He went to Tennessee.
Oh, I know who it is. Can I say it? Kevin doesn't know it.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's Arian Foster.
Arian Foster.
Oh, yeah.
All right.
I remember.
Surprised it took that long.
Oh,
Or he
Okay.
was a vegan for a while.
Oh, yeah. All right. So it is 1-1 right now. This one, again, you guys might know, so you got to answer quickly. I think it leans a little bit towards Kevin. So Michael Jordan won 3 titles. Then he was gone for 2 years. Then he won 3 more titles. Which team won those 2 titles when he was gone? Yeah.
Houston Rockets.
Houston Rockets. There you
Damn,
go,
I
Kevin.
knew that one too. Damn it.
Gotta be quicker than that.
I
All
thought
right,
Lakers.
Kevin
first
is
for a second.
All right. I'll do this one because I think the last one might be a little bit more towards Kevin. In the NFL in 2013, yardage-wise, who led the NFL in receiving?
In 2013.
2013. Tough one.
There's so many players.
Yeah.
In yardage wise,
Yeah, Kevin?
2013.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Randy Moss, but I think it's wrong.
No, definitely not Randy Moss. He was good in like 07. I don't even think he was like good since then.
I want to say AJ.
Ryan,
Green.
guess, and then I'll give out a hint. No, I don't think he's ever led the league. Okay,
Damn.
here's a hint. Again, either of you can buzz and get this one now.
Can I buzz before?
Ryan needs to get this. Yeah, either of you can buzz. It is free here.
Calvin Johnson.
Yeah, Kevin? No. Okay,
Damn,
here's the
yeah.
hint. That was a guess. Here's the hint. He was a supplemental draft pick.
That's not gonna help me.
Really?
Des Bryant.
Think about why somebody would be in a supplemental draft.
For expansion team.
I mean, I don't.
He went to Baylor.
Is he white?
Oh man.
No, he's not white.
Oh,
He
this is
played-
my guy. Yeah. No, wait. No, never mind.
What team was he on?
Is it Josh? Josh Gordon?
Josh Gordon, there you go.
Hey. All right, Ryan.
You guys are really, really disappointing me in the timing of your answers here. We have to fast.
I can't
go through-
remember like long term. It's the flow. It's the flow.
It's the flow. All right. Well, I'm happy Ryan got that one. It's 2-2 now. This one is
Stop the
probably my
Josh Gordon,
favorite
though.
question.
Getting that help.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out Josh Gordon. All right. Again, emphasis on Kevin here. You might want to wait till I finish the question. There are, especially Kevin on this one. There are 3 current NBA players that are in the top 20 list for all-time scoring. 2 of them are LeBron and Dirk. Who is the third? Ryan.
Kobe?
No, he's not active.
Oh, damn it.
So
Kevin, you got an answer in 3 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Nothing? Oh my
Vince Carter.
God.
Vince Carter.
Nope, not Vince Carter.
Ooh, that's a good guess.
You guys want a hint?
Yeah.
Again, either of you can buzz. This is going to be tough. He was in the same draft class as LeBron.
Yeah. Oh man, I want to say it's Melo.
It's
Yeah.
Melo.
It is.
It is.
Let's go.
People forget he was like scoring champion like for what 4 or 5 seasons.
I was thinking like it was either Melo or Dwayne Wade, and I was like one. Dwayne Wade wasn't like ever like just an unreal scorer, and two, I figured we were gonna talk about Melo, and this was a good transition.
Yeah, okay. So good way to finish on that, and very good win, Ryan.
I just wanted to lose
Hard
so I
fought.
can beat Noah next week for the challenge.
Fun. I will. I'll be studying up for that, Kevin. So yeah, let's talk about Melo. This man is getting paid, and I feel like people are hating on him. But if your ego is in check enough, where you're just like, I don't care what people say, which I feel like Melo does not give a bleep about what anybody thinks. He's living right now. He's and playing for the probably going to play for like the league minimum from the Rockets to the point where like there's not going to be that pressure of like, hey, I'm getting paid $30 million. I better perform. He's getting all that. He doesn't care what people think of him. He's getting paid. He's on a good team. I feel like Melo right now.
My question is the league minimum $2.4 million?
Yeah. Like
That's ridiculous.
For a veteran.
It changes. It changes based off like what you've made, and there's a whole thing. I thought it was like 3.2 or something.
Jeez, that's still so much. I feel like in the NFL where like veterans are going out there to die.
Can you say that
sorry.
again, Ryan?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll be like that. I mean, that's so like high. Like I feel like in the NFL, veterans take the minimum and go out there to like die and get concussions for thousands. Already making $30 million and sucks. He gets another $2.5 million.
NBA money, man. Nothing like it. Although for as much people hate on the MLB and say people aren't marketable, MLB players get paid in freaking fat contracts. Yeah, no salary cap, all that jazz. So Melo is living, I think. Hawkshire is going to cut him. Sounds like he's going to the Rockets. I said last year, before everyone else was like, no, Melo sucks. Because I remember hearing this multiple times. So, like, stars will find a way to make it work. Clearly, Melo could not make it work in OKC. He was not even helping at all for that team. And I said after this year, I said, you cannot pay me $5 million if I'm an owner, I'm a GM, to put Melo on my team. If there's a system, maybe with the exception of Golden State, it's probably Houston. Kevin, is this going to work out at all, presuming that's where he ends up?
I wouldn't say it'll work out for like either party too much. Like Melo's not going to do that well. He's going to throw up some more bricks, but I think he'll obviously do better at the Thunder with less expectations. Rockets, they're not going to improve that much more. But what everyone isn't talking about is how Russell Westbrook's going to murder Dennis Schroeder in practice. I feel like that's going to go down. He's just
Why?
kind of an annoying point guard, don't you think?
Yeah, and I feel like he's like lazy and thinks he's better than he is, and like Russ is just going to kill him. I feel like that's like Kobe with like Dwight Howard.
And like layup drills or something.
Okay. I have a comment on this. So I don't know if you guys saw this video, and it's probably gonna sound, you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. But speaking of like Kobe and like full court pressing in practice, there was this like video because people love Kobe now that he's retired. Like they'll listen to anything he says or does. And there's this video that like amazing Kobe Bryant full pressing, guarding the whole team in a practice drill, and like each drill was like to half court, and they didn't even go to full half. Really slowly dribbling the basketball, and Kobe was like not pressuring them at all, and it was just like this stupidest video. And I'm like, I could easily like guard this person dribbling, guard just as well as Kobe. Both thing that people were freaking out about. It just irked me. I had to say it was on my mind. It irked me. But yes, Kevin, I agree with you. Russ might drive Schroeder insane. Ryan, we'll go to you. Any success from Melo, or is he pretty much done?
No, I basically just like given up on like even like trying to think that Melo's good. I just think like his attitude and like the way he plays, and he's just like a negative aura around that team, man. No good vibes there, Kev. And I mean, he gets the banana boat crew kind of, but I don't even think that's enough.
Harden could be like a banana boat crew guy, I feel like.
Yeah, like there's definitely enough there, but like Melo's just like he's fallen a lot since he was on Ned's Declassified that one time.
He was on that show?
Yeah, you don't remember that?
No, I was a big Ned's Declassified guy too.
Dwayne Wade might go to China too.
Yeah, well, Ned wanted Melo's shoes, and then Melo came up in like a speech bubble, and he's like, Ned, like, do the right thing.
and what?
And
what? Get his shoes or just
no? Because like he took the shoes from someone else, and he was like, do the right thing and give them back.
That's such a Melo thing. Just like appear on that show, probably get like $30,000 to say like one line. Just look like a freaking idiot. But all right, hold on a second. Kevin just dropped a bombshell when you were talking that.
I know.
Wade's going to China? What?
No, he's not. I don't think he's going to China, if I'm correct. Kev might know more. But basically, some team in China basically said they're willing to give him so much money if he'll go there.
Oh, I would be too if I was that Chinese team. That's like the MLS theory times like a million. I remember reading this thing in like 5th grade. That it's the cover. It was some magazine. It might have been ESPN. It's like Dwayne Wade in China, and it's like why he's expanding his brand. I was like, that's stupid. Like they don't care about basketball over there. And like apparently it might work out now. This man probably about to get like stacks to pay over there to play over there. Yeah.
Yeah, listen, man. China's had one of the best economies in the world for like 20 years. So they've been buying all these soccer players. Now it looks like it's going to go to basketball too. Well, it has been with like Michael Beasley. Freaking Andre Blatch and all these players, Jimmer.
I'm gonna go to China and just tell China like, listen, like, I know like you don't have great basketball over there, but just like, please don't cheer for Andre Blatch, like, and just like scrubs like this. I'll be like, listen, like, I will pay you to not go to these games. These men do not deserve your applause. I'm sick if like I'd be not happy if these scrubs like Michael Beasley's like winning MVP over there. I feel like the Lakers, like the meme team of the Lakers, would just be so fun for the Chinese to watch. Like Rondo, Lance, all of them.
Yeah, a couple ball bros.
Yeah,
they should put more money into their like terrible air quality instead of their sports.
Whoa, Kev, let's stick to sports, bro.
Yeah. Quickly, I'm a big fan of clean air as well, so I think that might sound like a pretty sound idea, Kev. But yeah, we don't solve the world's problems if they're not sports related. Actually, sometimes I feel like we do solve the world's problems, but we will stick to sports. Basketball. The big news today, at least in my book, was Kevin Love signing an extension. So I have been somewhat critical, I think, of Kevin Love, probably very critical at times of Kevin Love over the years. And I'm probably going to flip on this as soon as the season starts. But I'm almost like a gross time kind of thing here. I think I'm done with Kevin Love slander, and I don't want to hear it anymore. This man has done everything and more you could have asked him to do. With LeBron there, who's apparently not the easiest person to play with. All the drama that's happened with Kyrie, with other people. Excuse me, I keep like burping during this rant. Accepted his role, signed an extension for, I don't know if the Cavs would have offered him the max, but it's probably like $10 million less than the max for 4 years. He apparently wants to be there. Not a word out of him in the negative way. Obviously the mental health stuff, but I'm excited that he's like, from like an emotional perspective, I'm excited. I'm trying not to think about this from a basketball perspective because you guys know what I want the Cavs to do and like every other team to do in the NBA. And that's like not spend a damn dollar, just trade everybody for draft picks to tank. But like, it seems like there's almost a pushback on that to an extent in this last like class of teams because the Spurs were a team I thought might have blown it up and tanked. The Cavs were a team I definitely thought would have. There's a few others I can't really think about off the top of my head. But it seems like nobody's really trying to tank as much as they were. There's only a few teams going into this season, like knowing they're going to be awful and not trying to win. So any takeaways from that, Kevin, either Kevin Love in Cleveland and how that's going to work out and any slander with him or the lack of tanking that we're seeing? Because Cleveland was a prime contender for a team to tank.
Yeah, a couple takeaways. So number one, unlike you, I am very excited to see the basketball side of Kevin Love's extension. I was a huge K-Love fan when he was at Minnesota. Like, just grabbing all those 20-20 rebounds and three-pointers.
A fantasy animal. Fantasy animal. I've never seen someone dominate as much as that.
He was insane. He was so fun to watch. It was great. I loved it. Also, I think you'll be surprised I think there's going to be a lot more teams than you think that are going to be in the tank race. We saw like half the league last year go into the tank race. So I think 3/4 of the way into the season, there's definitely going to be some bad teams. A lot more than you think.
I would not doubt that. I'm just saying at the outset of the season, though. At the outset of the season, there does not seem like as much, though.
Yeah, that's fair.
My quick thoughts on Kevin Love. One, so much respect for this guy because he won. He went and got a ring. Two, he got handsome.
Yeah, he did.
Three, he now just got a ton of money. So he's basically like he's checked off all the boxes. But the other thing is, I think he has to. As much as he looks good, he's got to get fat. He's got to get fat.
He's got to get fat?
Yeah, but you know how good, like, you were talking about when he was, like, a beast. He was fat. He's got to go get fat again. You need fat Kevin Love if he's going to win some games for you.
As a Cavs and someone who's been of that mentality myself for a while, I'm, one, fully on board. Two, if anyone knows Kevin Love or if, Kev, you're listening, willing to help. Put on 20 pounds last summer. I can eat a lot of food. I know how to do it efficiently, so I'd be willing to help. And I think I agree with that. I mean, cardio and stamina is only so important if you have mass to back it up. So I'm fully on board with that plan, Ryan. I think.
Thank you.
Yeah, always coming up with these ideas that again I'm like, and I'm like, you know what? Actually, might make some sense. Yeah, Kevin, like you were saying, basketball-wise, I'm excited to see it. I just don't know if it's the right move. Is like kind of like what I was trying to go to there because
you're I mean, right. I'm just excited to see Kevin Love like have control of an offense again,
and hopefully be fat. Hopefully. All right. So for basketball, those are kind of the three main stories: Melo, the Kawhi trade, and then Kevin Love. So I want to go to baseball here for a second, and then by the way, in a little bit we will do BVD, beefy viral development. Again, of a fan requested segment, so we will do that in a little bit. But we'll start on MLB. So last week on the podcast, the two main things that happened after were the Kawhi trade and then the Machado trade. He was going to the Cubs, Ryan. I think we talked before. I said the Angels. I don't know if you said the Dodgers, but you said that's where you thought it was going. Maybe the Phillies. He's on land now with LeBron, with some other stars. Talked about how the Dodgers rank against the best teams. Are you scared of that? Not scared of anybody in the NL.
Everyone's like was ready to crown the dot. Like as soon as they got Machado, ready to crown him the best team in the NL easily. And I was like look, because their one hole was shortstop Corey Seager, and now they got probably a better shortstop to put in there. But honestly, no, I'm not scared of the Dodgers because what have they always had? Pitching, which has been so good. Kershaw's been hurt in and out, and he's been like okay. But in the playoffs he chokes, and the rest of the staff's been like but like I don't know. They still don't scare me yet. I think it's because they started so slow. They are really hot now, but. Nah, I'm not scared of them yet.
Dude, what are you talking about? You got like outfielders pitching for you, man.
Yeah, all right. Let's get to that. The Cubs are dope position players that can pitch. Let me tell you, I've never seen a team 17 games over 500 that has used.
Ryan, can you redo that?
Yeah, from where?
Just the beginning.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, yeah, let's talk about that, Kev. The Cubs have some dope-ass position players that can pitch. I've never seen, like, a team that's, like, 17 games over 500 right now have 5 position players pitch in the last 4 games. Like, I have no idea what they're doing, but Victor Caratini, dominant. Anthony Rizzo last night, a stud. He's going to finish his career with a 0 ERA. How many people can say that? So I'm pretty into it.
Yeah. Martinez, but he definitely sounds like a guy that has no business being on a Major League Baseball mound. Yeah, the Cubs are an interesting team right now because I feel like, because you said something about the Indians where you're like, I feel like every time I see them, Lindor and Jose Ramirez each have 3 home runs, but they lose like 15-14. Mm-hmm. I feel like every time I see the Cubs, it's just there's something just crazy going on in their game, and I'm like, stuff like this happen like every night, and they're like still like 20 games above 500.
Yeah, they're like
nuts.
They are like bad, but really good. Like their pitching is in the first inning every game, and then just have to like come back and insanely win. It makes no sense. So I honestly cannot for my life like read them. I don't know if they're good or bad.
It's exciting baseball, man.
Yeah. Dog days no more. This is some good stuff. And Ryan, you said you might not be scared of the Dodgers, but you know who you maybe might have to be scared of now?
Who?
Our podcast darling, the Pittsburgh, who have won, I think, 9 in a row, including just destroying Cleveland, my Indians last night. Tonight, by the time people listen to this pod, this streak will hopefully be on 10 in a row. They are in the hunt, and it's going to be so fun because there's 4 teams in the West all close. I'll be honest, I thought the Brewers were beating the Cubs in the division. They're like 4 games out right now, but they're like Pirates. The freaking Pirates who have been like 3 games out or like 4 games out of the wild card. NL East obviously has 3 teams. And then it's just always fun watching how bad the Mets are. I want to get to a topic on that in a second. But the NL, my friend, for how much worse it is in the AL, it's very fun. And I'm excited for it the rest of the way.
Yeah, but honestly, like if I'm a Pirates fan, I might be a little pissed. Like I get like it's fun watching them win and have a streak, but like how long can they really sustain this when they're not like a great team? And this was like a year they were finally going to be like, all right, let's just sell. We got rid of McCutchen already. Let's just sell and rebuild and get some good prospects. And now they're going to float around.
Garrett Cole.
Yeah, and Garrett Cole. Now they're going to float around the middle, probably not sell because of how hot they are right at the deadline. And then I honestly have a feeling they're going to drop off again at some point, and then they're just stuck with the same team.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Adam Dreyfus on here.
Yeah. Adam might be angry, the grandfather-owned team. But yeah, Ryan, that makes sense and everything, but like it's pretty negative. So like I don't want to think about that, especially with the old Pirates. So I'm gonna not agree with you there. And let me just tell you how tough this series so far, watching the Indians and Pirates, because it's just like watching like 2 girls that fight over you, and it's like it's tough, man. It's like when the Cavs play the Kings in the NBA. I just like can't watch the game. So like the Indians game started like right around this podcast did, and like usually I'd be like, all right, guys, it's like can we start this so I can watch the game? But now I'm like, you know what, it's fine. I'll just check the score later. It's whatever. Because like it is a stressful time watching it. So I mentioned the Pirates. Another team I said that you don't have to worry about, Ryan. Los Mets. So this situation is crazy. I mean, can you recap it? Because I mean, I think Syndergaard was put on the DL today, or Grom might go. Whatever's going on is crazy.
The two main things. I think the first is obviously people have known the Mets for like just injury after injury. You go there, you get hurt. Todd Frazier, like someone said, he's missed like 40 games in his entire like 8-year career, and he's missed like 50 with the Mets this year. So like it just is hilarious. But Noah Syndergaard, who's been like hurt ever since he's gotten there. I used to hate him. I really can't hate him anymore because guess what? He never plays because he's always hurt. He was just put on the DL with hand, foot, and mouth disease, which sounds like something you get in the War of 1812 from going to like a kids camp. That's how they think he got it, which is just, oh man, I laughed so hard seeing that. And then the second thing is like they said Jacob deGrom is probably going to become the first pitcher in history to have a sub-2 ERA for a season and win like 5 games because like he pitches 7 shutout innings every game. and then the Mets lose.
The hand, foot, and mouth disease thing. I think we need to probe that a little more. So,
Yeah.
My family, for those of you loyal listeners that don't know, has a house in Maryland, and something near the house is the Museum of Civil War Medicine, which has got to be the museum ever. But I feel like if I saw I'd had hand, foot, and mouth disease, I would like not be surprised at all if I saw that in there, because like there's stories of like let's just saw it off, or like stuff like that, and I feel it happened, and it just I don't know like if that's the actual name of something, or like he just has a disease in his hand, foot, and mouth, but like it is just nuts how that's a thing. And like it's like the Mets, you're not surprised seeing that, like the Browns, you're not surprised seeing that, or like the Nets maybe, but they're just the team where like that would happen to them. I'm laughing, but I know you love it even more, Ryan.
Yeah, it's great to watch. And one more thing, like if I'm a teammate of Syndergaard's, I'm like getting out of there, because hand, foot, and mouth disease sounds like the most contagious, deadly thing that could just spread through a locker room. Like I feel like
if he walks, talks, or touches you, anything, you're done. You're done.
As long as he is alive, everyone in that locker room is getting that disease.
Yeah, he needs to be fully quarantined, wearing one of those giant like suits. You can just like walk around like a spacesuit. Yeah, so the Mets are in fourth, I think maybe fifth in the division. They're just so freaking bad. The Marlins are there too. One of the teams in the division, I think everyone expected to win this year, except a few people. And as we all know, they had a guy win the home run derby, so that means that they're insane again. The Nats, and Bryce Harper won the home run derby, but they're not really getting any better. Should they blow it up? Oh, are they going to get Cole Hamels, or are they going to trade Bryce Harper and Max Scherzer and everybody? Like, Ryan, if you're them, and then we'll go to Kevin on this, because obviously we have to wait for Kevin's expert analysis. What do you do if you're Washington?
Yeah, I wrote a blog about this yesterday. I say trade him, because one, I just think the Nationals stink this year. Like I just think they're not a good baseball team. Like Bryce Harper hasn't been good, which has been a problem, but like the rest of the team just hasn't been great either. They're fighting in the dugout. Max Scherzer.
Love dugout fights. I love dugout fights.
I would not want to get in a fight with Max Scherzer, because that guy is just absolutely insane. But yeah, I say trade him, because he's at this point, like I think we talked about this on the last podcast. Even though he did all that, I love DC stuff, I think it's pretty evident after this year. I don't really know how the Nats can hold him, especially with this bad season they've had. So you might as well trade him and get something in return instead of just letting him walk in the offseason.
Interesting. Kevin, agree?
Well, I heard you bring up Cole Hamels. Wasn't he like good like 10 years ago on the Phillies? Like,
yeah.
How is he still around?
People last a while in the MLB.
Yeah, also like Cole Hamels. That's a good point, Kev. Cole Hamels is like a guy who like hasn't been great in a while, but every year at the trade deadline, people are like, if this team gets Cole Hamels, man, let me tell you. And then every year it does nothing.
Yeah, be like, this is the get of the off, or like this is the get of the trade deadline. If you need a pitcher, Cole Hamels is the guy, and just no one gets him. Yeah. It's also probably for the best.
so serious.
It's really been like that
on the old Cubs guy because of your lack of arm.
Yeah, you know, if they could get him for cheap, I'd take him on the Cubs because they have like not much. But like, I can't see like a team that like. I don't know. I just don't know. Like, oh god, I'm saying like so much I can hear myself. It's pissing me off. But no, I'm not in on Cole Hamels really.
Who's that one pitcher you hate so much on the Cubs?
I hate a pitcher on the Cubs.
The reliever, the lefty reliever, I think. Yeah, you hate maybe some lefty reliever. You 100% hate some left, or maybe it's a righty reliever.
Maybe it's
Wilson, like Justin Wilson, maybe.
No, I've always been a big Justin Wilson guy.
Who is it? It's definitely a reliever. I don't know.
I hate like the Cubs have like 7 minor league relievers up right now who just stink. Like I don't know why they come in the games, but they stink in there, and I can't.
You sound a little angry. Probably not as angry as some Yankee fans last night. This is our final MLB topic, and then we'll go to BVD. Yeah, so I can't tell your response on this. If you're happy, relieved that it happened to them, angry. So describe your emotions going through what happened last night. And for those of you that don't know, listeners, it's basically, well, it's 2 nights ago now that you're listening. Gary Sanchez, Yankees catcher, I didn't even see the whole thing, just didn't run after a pass ball or a wild pitch early in the game and allowed a runner to score from second, and then didn't run out a 6-4-3 double play where he probably could have made it safe and either scored a run or kept the inning going. And now he's in the DL or something, which to me just sounds like we're just going to bench you for 10 games, but for publicity purposes, we're just going to put you on the DL. So it seems crazy, Ryan.
I am always a Yankees hater, but I have to say I'm heartbroken that the Yankees lost the night. I think that's what happened. If you would go on Twitter today, I think they lost the World Series. I saw people saying, fire Aaron Boone. We're 28 games over 500. Oh, my God. No, but in all seriousness, this is maybe the greatest thing that's happened to me in so long. Gary Sanchez doesn't hustle, goes to the DL, no excuse. You can definitely still run. And I've always said Gary Sanchez sucks. I've always said he stinks. People are like, oh, but his nickname is El Gary. That's just the Gary. It's not even a good nickname. Like, please stop. Oh, man, it's so funny to see the Yankees fans just absolutely lose their minds when they're 28 games over 500 and no matter what. And then the best thing is, Noah, I have a feeling you saw this. Like, every team gave out their Heart and Hustle award today. And the Yankees backup catcher, who everyone's clamoring for to start, won the Heart and Hustle award after Gary Sanchez did not hustle. Yankees, you couldn't have done it any better. You guys are just killing it right now.
Love to see it. That Austin Romine thing was very funny seeing that. I think it was just a coincidence, but even if it wasn't, I am happy to see it anyway. So, enough baseball talk. It's time to go to one of our most loyal listeners. I would say definitely a top 3 loyal listener, Mr. Ryan's uncle. Don't know his name. Don't need to.
Uncle Bruce.
All right, name is Bruce.
Bruce, what's up?
Shout out Uncle Bruce. I think we've had our fair share of beef in the past. Ryan's told me you've questioned a lot of things I've said, which is pretty understandable. Listening back, I'd probably do the same, but you said you missed the BVD segment, Beefy Viral Development, each of our 3 favorite words, into a topic where we just do ranking of 3 to 5 things, random topic each week. We had not done it in about 2 weeks. Partially because Kevin had not been on, partially because we forgot last week. Now it's back, and the requested topic was, Ryan, you want to say it?
Basically, the worst or saddest or just like hardest to watch moments you've ever witnessed while watching a game. You could be there or on TV. It doesn't have to be professional. It could be just something you saw watching sports that it's most likely going to be a feeling, but it just haunts you. It just haunts you.
Great topic.
So, yeah, and I think all of our fandoms have experienced this enough. I would probably think that I've not trying to brag. I've probably seen a little more failure.
Oh yeah.
Especially because I'm a diehard of 3 teams. So unless you want to consider USA Lacrosse, Kevin, or I don't know, Maryland Lacrosse, one of your teams, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even bragging. It's just
yeah,
it's just unfortunate for you.
So I tried to do a little bit of each of my teams. We will see if that happened. So do we want to do snake? Do we want to somebody list all 3, or how do we want to do this?
Snake.
Yeah, I'm feeling snake.
All right. I'll go first. My number 3, there's a lot of ones. I want to pick a Browns one for this. My number 3 was, I remember watching this live this year. Corey Coleman, week 17 against the Steelers, the ball just slipping through his hands this year. And I just remember seeing that in slow motion, just putting my head down. And I mean, because the number 1 pick had already been locked up. That was a game playing against NFL backups that there was no reason for the Browns not to win. And just seeing it slip through and knowing that my kids will just know that like there's only like 2 teams that have gone 0-16 in NFL history, and this was probably like the worst team ever. And it's just that play just and he's awful now. Nobody wants him back. It was very symbolic of that season, and it hurt a lot.
That would be it's crazy that like that for a lot of fans would be like just the absolute worst moment in their life. Number 3 for you.
Yeah. That wasn't even like I could have put like 20 things for the Browns at number 3. I just wanted to put the Browns in there somehow.
So you want me to go next, Ryan?
Yeah, you can go.
So sticking with NFL, also Uncle Bruce sounds like the really cool uncle of the family. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he sounds like that guy's like always giving you cool stuff. So shout out Uncle Bruce.
Yeah. I can see Uncle Bruce giving you a beer at 14, like giving you like your first taste of liquor or something.
Giving you your heartbreak talk, because we're talking about heartbreaks right now. So coming in at number 3, 2007. This is probably like prime for me when I'm most into Green Bay Packers. Me and my older brother, both big Packers fans at the time. I'm still a Packers fan, but you know. So we're playing the Giants, 2007 playoffs, and Brett Favre just scrambles around, gets tricked by defense, and for some reason thinks it's a great idea to throw across his body, falling out at the sideline, pick 6, and no, he threw it actually towards the sideline, and it was pick 6 and overtime loss. So that was tough.
It's weird right now that you said Brett Favre, and like it took me a while to like envision him in like a Green Bay uniform. I was picturing him in a Vikings uniform for a while, which is not good. But that is just weird. That's weird.
He was sick on the Packers, man. You gotta watch some highlights.
He was the man.
So my number 3, it wasn't one moment, it was a collection. It was 2015 when the Mets go to the World, because like it was the most heartbreaking thing the Cubs have ever done. They were ahead of schedule, probably shouldn't have even been there. But man, before that series started, I just talked so much smack to every Mets fan that even breathed on planet Earth. And then the Cubs joined, and I just had to sit there and watch it and take it all from every person I knew. And like honestly, I didn't think I would ever recover. Like I didn't want to go to school for like 2 weeks. I just couldn't handle it.
So what I've noticed is that both of your number 3s recovered very quickly. Ryan, the Cubs won the World Series the next year. Kevin, the Packers won the Super Bowl 3 years after. When did they win? 2011? I'd be cool if mine recovered decently quickly as well and won some sort of title, but I am not expecting it.
Oh, wait. I got to go again now because it's Snake.
Okay, yeah, go.
All right, so my number 2, Kev, I think you'll remember this one. 2010 NFC Championship game, Bears-Packers.
Conti?
No. Oh, that's worse, but that's regular season. This was like such a small moment. I don't think a lot of people like realize how devastating it was, but it haunts me. The Bears, I think it was either tied or they were really close behind by like a field goal, but Jay Cutler was already out. So you knew like they were going to need like all defense to win. And like Aaron Rodgers was driving, interception of Brian Urlacher, and he just has, it looks pick 6 from the start. And he basically, I don't remember if he gets, I've tried to block it out. I don't know if he gets caught from behind or he just trips, but just out of nowhere, he goes down.
Yeah, tackled him barely, a little like.
Yeah, like just should have easily scored.
Finger on the old calf, and then he fell over.
Yeah, and like it should have. That would have, I think, won the game for the Bears. I think it would have changed everything. But he falls, and Caleb Haney just comes in and throws interceptions. As soon as I saw that, I knew the game was over. That was like the peak of my Bears fandom. I was so destroyed inside.
That was
I was
such
just
a great
sitting there like, I love Brian Urlacher like so much, but I was like, oh my God, can you just learn how to run? Like I was so mad.
Because that was Rex Grossman too, right? Wasn't Rex Grossman the backup?
It was Cutler, Caleb Haney, and like I think Todd Cutstring. It was just an awful team.
that was a good one. For me, so 2014 World Cup. So for me, I not a lot of my favorite teams have been in positions to like break my heart, but instead have been like pretty mediocre instead. So like rooting for Argentina in 2014 was a big deal because I was a huge Messi fan at the time, and they're in the World Cup final. I want him to be like the greatest ever. He has all these chances, and then Mario Götze just scores extra time to win it for Germany. And that was
Super
pretty
Mario Götze, go Germany!
They're such a boring team too, and just to see them score like what was a kind of a beautiful goal was just like such bitter and awful.
What was the call for that? Did the announcer say Super Mario, I think? Or what did he say? Because I remember it was awesome.
Yeah, it was like something like that. It was like Super Mario's done it.
He's done it now. It's clinical. Something classic. All right, I didn't know you would put Messi on there. My number 2, also pretty recent. I just realized all of mine are from this past season. JR. Yeah. That was the most like, well, I guess my number 1 is, but that was just such a meaningful loss. And like that moment, my heart just sank. And because it's kind of like you with Messi, Kevin, where it's like, I wanted the team to win. Obviously, like I'm a huge Cavs fan, but like I love LeBron so much. And I know that like legacy wise, that series was huge. If he won a game, that would change everything. And if they won that first game, who knows what would have happened with that series? He might not have maybe broken his hand. They would have had momentum. Everything would have been different. Drops 50, and no one's going to remember that. All it's going to remember is all they say is he got swept. Goats don't get swept in the finals. And it just irks me so much. And it was just that moment. And I knew that as soon as that happened, that just ended anything or this Cavs run. And now it's a completely new era. LeBron's gone. And that was a tough moment, I will tell you. But still only number 2, though. Only number 2. Oh, but I forgot to go again. My number 1, I'll just go quick on this. Ryan, do you know what this is?
I know what it is.
It's got to be. No, I don't know what it is.
Yankees lost from this year.
Yeah, wow. I'm surprised Kevin knew that. Wow. Ryan didn't. I've never cried like that.
Talk to anyone the whole next day.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were that was rough.
I've never cried that much. That was like the worst day of my life, and it's just because like everything lined up. I was like the year we were finally supposed to beat like the Giant, the Yankees, and like they just snuck into the playoffs as a freaking wild card team. We were up 2-0 and they choked, and I was like, if not now, then when? Ever. And I don't know. I have still not learned that. I don't know if I'm ever going to. Talking about all this sadness just makes me want to do like a really happy one because I'm honestly depressed right now.
I feel
well, I shall uplift your spirits because I too once felt a bit of that misery of fandom. Like, when is this ever going to happen? So growing up, huge Lax head, of course. Got the privilege to cover my favorite team, Maryland lacrosse, this past year. But a lot of people know they sucked in national championship games for a number of years, dating back for like the last 10 years. They lost like 10 billion championship games. And there was this one in 2011. 2011 was actually a very good year for me. Dirk won championship, Packers won. But Maryland lacrosse made me break my stick in my backyard after they lost to Loyola. They only scored like 3 goals, forgot to catch and pass, and it was all
so sad, bro. Making me tear up out here.
Yeah, wow, that's tough. I can't imagine going through that.
Can't imagine winning 2 championships in 1 year and then not winning a third. But yeah you know,
that's
whatever.
Rough. I don't know how you lived, Kev. All right, my number 1. This was tough because I base it off of like how I felt at that single moment. So no, I think you still watch this play and feel happiness, even though your team end up losing. I still, even game and won the World Series, cannot watch this play without wanting to puke. This was the lowest moment of my life.
Same, but for a different reason.
This was 100% the lowest moment of that happened. I like felt my body shut down. I was like at a Chicago bar. It was dead silent. I remember texting like my mom and dad. I was like literally like, there's no point in life anymore. I was just over everything. Like I just shut down. I could not believe it. It like I still like just feel like death brings that up, or they show it. Like I think they showed it like a couple weeks ago because Rajay Davis was like at the plate in some random game. I was not think about it for so long because it just destroyed my insides for like 2 hours.
Yeah, I don't even think you said the full play yet. It was Rajay's home run against Chapman, obviously.
Yeah, and the problem was like the rain delay right after, and I just had to sit there and like wallow in it.
And it's crazy the dichotomy because I was like the exact opposite. I was just like sitting there dead, and I was like, what's the point of like life or anything? And I was like, I'm just gonna try to fly to space, just see if there's life out there. Maybe like get a new team. And then all of a sudden, like I got so excited, like I like had to throw up, and like I've never felt like that.
I remember like when it happened, I wanted to text my dad, and I was like, "Why the hell did you have to grow up in Chicago?" But then I didn't. I'm glad I bit my tongue.
Speaking of quotes like that about cities, he denies this, but I'm 100% sure it happened. Word for word, our Minnesota correspondent who was watching the game with me. In a Cleveland bar said, again, word for word, wow, I never thought I'd say this, but I wish I was from Cleveland. And I mean, it was just like that kind of moment. It was crazy. So that put me in a good mood, Ryan. I'm not going to talk about what happened after that, but a good BVD. Next week, I promise we'll have one that's much more positive, maybe like best moments or just something that's even better than that, hopefully. So I want to finish on one quick, thing. Kevin, I'll let you take this one. We don't have much time for NFL, but you saw that ESPN NFL QB tiers today. Anything you find particularly interesting on that?
Yeah, so I'm not sure if it was the actual tiers article, but there was like a spinoff where it was like they were ranking the current quarterbacks who are best against the spread. Now, before I go any further, I need one of you to explain to me what the mother F does against the spread even mean.
Kev's such a good little mama's boy. No betting, no gambling for this guy. Such a good kid.
So,
okay.
Kevin. Already? That was it?
Did you think they were talking like spread defense or something? Like,
I don't know because it was confusing. They had a little intro that never.
The spread is like the spread is the line of the game. So like, say like the Browns are facing the Packers and the Packers are favored by 14. Packers to win the game, they're going to bet the spread, which is Packers by 14. So they're going to bet like Packers cover those 14 points. So if the Packers won 30-17, they didn't cover. That's only 13 points. So that's 0 for 1 versus spread.
So like basically like Aaron Rodgers is money against like you would if he's good against the spread, he's gonna beat the spread for you.
Yeah, so that's what I had beef with. Rodgers was in the second tier, and
I actually kind of agree with that. I don't know much about
Alex Smith were in the first tier, and I was like, what the hell, man? And then
I kind of agree with that because like when you think about the spread, like the Packers are probably always usually favored heavily. And they still end up in a lot of close games. So I have a feeling like Rodgers has trouble beating the spread sometimes, whereas like the Chiefs and the Colts, like it's easier for them to beat the spread.
Yeah, because they're not always favored. That makes sense.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with the article now. Thanks for the knowledge.
No problem.
Yeah. That is what we do. Educate each other, educate the listener, educate the world on a variety of topics. And I think that's a fitting way to end after that negative BVD we had. Good podcast, gentlemen. I'm happy we have 2 podcasts in a row with 21-year-old Kevin. We will be back again next week. Tuesday night, coming out Wednesday morning. A lot of crazy stuff going on. It'll be, I think, is there a 31st in July or no? Does anybody know?
Wait, what?
There is a 31st in July. So next podcast, we'll record on July 31st. It'll come out in August. And then soon we'll be back all together. But for now, keep up with all of our content online, WTSports.net. I had an article drop today. I thought it was a good one.
Very interesting read.
Twitter, yeah, good read, good editing as well. Twitter, Real WT Sports, Instagram, WT Sports _, Facebook One Sports. You already know all that. We will be back again next week. Adios.